I have absolutely no interest in cancel culture. As you guys can tell, I don't even got the clout to be a canceler at all. But if there was anyone that I'd suggest that we all collectively ignored, it would be the gentleman on screen here. This is coming to us from Daily Beast. Shaun King keeps raising money and questions about where it goes. This is the guy right here. This is the brother right here. I mean, well, according to Joe Biden, yeah, of course he's black. I mean, if you want to identify as black and it being the government designation that it is, you know, I mean, with all the perks that it clearly has these days, by all means, enjoy. But for the, you know, like in about, what was that, 2015, 2016, a whole bunch of internet revolutionaries popped up and started claiming how, you know, all you got to do is give me money, man, and we gonna have liberation and get all this racial and social justice. And it's all just been a gigantic grift from damn near the entire class of that entire Black Lives Matter class, where this guy, D-Ray, Tariq Nasheed, Dr. Umar, all of these individuals really had a hell of a come up, basically exploiting you know, the history of descendants, which, you know, like I say on this channel a lot, is completely separate than that of just being black. All right. It's two completely different things. So let's get into this article. He blamed issues at the North Star on overambition, but 7 former employees of the site King launched with great fanfare painted a darker picture. This is written by Callie Holloway. When Shaun King and progressive journalist Benjamin Dixon launched an ambitious multimedia reboot of Frederick Douglass's abolitionist newspaper, The North Star, last February, it was celebrated across social media by prominent voices, including Susan Sarandon, Michael Eric Dyson, and Megan, well, whatever that lady's last name is. A month later, the company boasted on Twitter that it already had multiple angel investors and more than 30,000 subscribers, contributing $5 per month for students and $10 a month, and up for the general public. Sorry about that. Subscribers at the highest giving levels, according to one former employee I spoke with, included Sigourney Weaver, Brene Brown, and Black billionaire philanthropist Robert Smith, who gave a healthy $10,000 a month. Jesus. My man was making bread. If every single subscriber gave at the lowest $5 a month student plan level, subscriber revenue totaled more than $125,000 monthly, or $1.5 million a year, per figures tweeted by both King and the North Star. Remember, this is not just the cost of membership. We are going to be building multiple studios and offices that will be hiring nearly 50 world-class journalists and staffers for the North Star, King wrote in a fundraising letter last November. We are going to be launching a full news website, an iPhone and Android app, 4 brand new podcasts, online video news broadcasts, and much more. We are building the North Star together. That's Susan Sarandon tweeting. That's right, sis. Appreciate it. All that. Yeah, that's insane. But after 14 months after launching, almost none of what King promised to build has appeared, and the site has struggled with issues that alienated many subscribers. The headquarters and television studio was quietly shuttered last summer, and all Atlanta-based staffers laid off. The mobile app disappeared for over a year, and the full news site displays branded the North Star apparel for sale alongside relatively scant original journalism. Yo, so like it's almost been a year and a half since he launched this thing, and it's bunk. It really is. King told me in an extensive email exchange for this story in early April that North Star's stumbles, including the dearth of deliverables promised, can be chalked up to the same overzealousness that has been the downfall of his other projects, the result of his tendency to take on too much too soon. The result of your tendency to stuff the dollars in your pocket, my guy. Come on, okay, so over a year, right? If you pulling in $125,000 a month, all of these, like I can see not doing the whole studio thing, but you should be able to produce content at a regular basis, man. Come on, guy. When we launched the North Star, virtually every advisor I had insisted that we should not do written articles, podcasts, and video views at the same time. King wrote, because that is quite a bit. I just knew we could do it. They were right. Oh my God. And y'all gave this man money. When I say ignore, I'm basically telling the lighter skinned investors of his, please stop giving this man money. Seriously, please stop giving, stop giving him the attention, right? Don't give him any more oxygen. He's not worth it. One of the things that really blows my mind is how the mainstream media really allowed the internet to take control. As far as, you had all the news channels having Twitter feeds underneath them, and they were really they really gave the internet a bunch of control that ultimately you can, if you are of a certain mindset, you can understand. Because when it comes to the internet, you basically like Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, it's all binary, right? It's all binary. It's all numbers and zeros. And if they want to boost something, if they want to make something seem far more popular than it actually is, or they really, really want to press damn near anything at their own discretion, they can. So one of the things that they've done is they've boosted all these different people, quote unquote, journalists that ultimately are nothing more than activists and grifters and people who need the chaos to continue, so thusly they will never seek to end the chaos. And that's exactly where the line that Mr. King falls under, because he's from that Oprah tree. He went to college on he went to Morehouse on a Oprah scholarship that was supposed to be for, a naturally, I guess a darker skinned individual, but he's a black guy, so it is what it is. But Oprah's been doing her best to knock down descendants and, completely malign us within the media for years. And so here we are, right? But 7 former employees of the North Star, 3 of whom spoke anonymously out of fear of reprisal by King, and 6 of whom were told they had to sign non-disclosure agreements to receive severances, said the issue was less King's overambition than his absenteeism, insistence on absolute control, and radical incompetence. I mean, he did have several other failed projects, right? I mean, how you were able to I know how, because like I say, when it comes to urban America, and one of the reasons I have a huge problem with the charity system, right, is because it always goes to the overhead. It's the big problem that I had with Black Lives Matter. Remember, I did that story with the Black Lives Matter leader who had, who they got a grant from the state of California for $100,000, and the woman gave herself a salary of $100,000. You guys get where I'm coming from, right? There's a whole lot of incompetence. And I just got finished replying to a retort in my Hassan Minaj video about legal cannabis, where he's like, well, we have to create all these barriers for people from, urban communities to be able to get into these industries. But the problem with tearing down those barriers is that the people from those communities never get it. There's always a scheme. There's always some money man around to make sure that whatever it is that's supposed to be for the benefit of the quote unquote marginalized people that you're speaking of, they make sure that if they do see it, they see scraps of what was intended for them. They said he had little interest in feedback from staffers. He had ostensibly brought on for their lengthy resumes and media experience, despite his own lack of the same. 2 iterations of broadcast news shows were scrapped, and their staffs and hosts fired before they even aired. And Dixon was pushed out, even as money poured in and the site remained underpopulated. It's well documented that King, one of Bernie Sanders' most prominent surrogates in both the 2016 and 2020 elections, had used his social media platforms to garner national headlines for stories of racial injustice that would likely have otherwise been neglected or ignored. The outrage and media attention that followed King's sharing of horrific footage of Ahmaud Arbery, a young man who had been gunned down in February by 2 white men, was the catalyst for Georgia law enforcement to finally arrest the killers. Yeah, we'll see how that one plays out, all right? In 2017, King successfully crowdsourced the identities of at least 2 of the white racists who brutally assaulted DeAndre Harris during the Unite the Right rally in Charlottesville, Georgia. As those headlines have raised his profile, King has continued to raise money, including through a Patreon fundraising campaign launched this April, again requesting $5 per month from students, $10 and up from general public subscribers, to turn the Breakdown podcast into a daily video news broadcast. Critical observers were quick to point out that King's earlier fundraising letters for the North Star had also promised subscription fees would underwrite the daily online video news broadcast. In the letter announcing the relaunch, King explicitly asked contributors to the original The North Star fundraiser to also become monthly paying subscribers to a live broadcast version of a podcast that's part of the North Star, a project that was already funded. Per King's own tweets in February 2019, before we announced this to the public, King wrote in an email, we want the original Breakdown crew to join us. The announcement of the new crowdfunding campaign revived rumors that had swirled on social media since it first launched that the North Star is more of a money-making maneuver than the fully independent, unbought, unbossed media company focused on freedom King had promised. I'm sorry, I never read that. Because I don't pay him any attention. I really don't give him the oxygen, man, because it's a scam. It's a grift this entire time. And one of the more infuriating parts is that who he's scheming are people who want to do the right thing, but they're handing their money over to a swindler. It has also fueled long-standing accusations, primarily lodged by Black women and queer folks, nearly all of whom are his former co-organizers, colleagues, employees, and supporters, because you know what? Heterosexual Black men will not stand behind this dude, okay? I'm sorry, we can't. It's just not going to happen. Yeah, you need that intersectionality in order to push someone like this over, because it's complete nonsense. He's been nonsense. He's been bullshit from the day he came out. But, he came with his Oprah bona fides, and he had a Black wife. So that's all it takes for a lot of Black women and to just be like, okay, yeah, sure. Whatever you say, sir. I got you. Oh my goodness, that King has inflated, mismanaged, or failed to account for funds he's raised over various social justice causes. No, you don't think. While it should be noted that no criminal or civil charges have ever been filed against King, the story, in the words of former employees of the North Star, was one of self-sabotage by him and really shady effing business with a liar and a fraud. All in quotes. So I'm gonna go over the questions that remain unanswered. We'll just go over the what's the name? Let's see. Where's the... Oh, these are just see how long this is? Levels of conflict. Levels? Yeah, levels of conflict. You see how long this article is? I mean, this guy, he's been around for long enough now for you to basically have absolutely no faith in anything this man says. Okay, what he got the two guys in the one case. Still, there's a lot of what's the name? There's a lot to be dissected when it comes to the Arbery case, because I'm pretty sure those guys are not going. Those guys are not getting knocked and locked up. But it is what it is. I feel like this video has run long enough. Dude's a fraud, man. Dude is a fraud. Dude's a grifter. It's all about the bread for him. It has absolutely nothing to do with improving the conditions for anyone other than himself at all. And like I said, it'd be one thing if these types of individuals were honest about it, but they're not. They're scammers. Chris Rock had one of the greatest jokes I've ever heard in my life. You can't expect an irresponsible person to tell you that they're irresponsible because they're irresponsible. And you can't expect a grifter or a swindler to tell you that they are such because they are such. So with that being said, we're going to bring this one to an end. All the internet stuff. If you liked it, toss it a like, dislike, go ahead, do that too. Nobody's scared of you. Sub. If you enjoy my fantastic voice and you want to get videos like this every single day, share, because sharing is caring. And YouTube and Bitchute and like aren't the biggest fans of your boy over here for very obvious reasons. Bang the bell for notifications and speak. Let me know. What do you guys think in the comments? Seriously, he should have been left in 2016. Along with the rest of them, with the Tariq Nasheeds and Umar and Dr. Umars and all these other internet revolutionaries that had that had absolutely nothing but their pockets and their wallets in mind when they was like, oh yeah, well we gotta fight the power that be, you know, to show you bullshit. And it's like, bro, like they're like, it's so nuanced, it's so layered, the problems within our community, within the quote unquote black community or within urban community, whichever epithet you want to use, that when you have people like this, like, and that's what's really frustrating, is the exploitation, right? I don't like exploitation. If you want to do something and be genuine and sincere about it, I got your back a million, like 10 times out of 10. I'm there with you. But if you're just here to get this bread and be on your way, shit, nigga, I might as well go rob a bank. We might as well go do some gangster shit. Like, if it's just about the bread, if like, yo, if we going mobbing and shit, let's just do some gangster shit. Like, if we gonna be criminals, if we gonna be bad guys, we gotta play with the bad guys play. I'm not one for bringing civilians into this. And this is exactly what these type of individuals do. Allegedly. All right. A big allegedly on this entire video because, you know, people like to sue. So with that, so you guys let me know what you think in the comments. Okay. And until the next one.